Hey, this is Tim Virgilio with Signatures for Soldiers, and you're listening to NasCard Radio, where trading cards and racing meet.
Everybody, hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NasCard Radio. This is episode number 88 of NasCard Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. I'm your pal Val, and with me is the amazing Jason. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing well as always, Val.
And the man, the myth, the legend, PSA Hall of Famer, King NASCAR, Logan, how are you?
I am lighter tonight, as you can see.
Yes. So we have an amazing show for everybody today. We're going to talk about all kinds of different stuff. We're going to talk about the recap of the Xfinity and Cup race. We have upcoming truck race, Xfinity race, Cup race. We have an IndyCar starting back up after a few weeks off for their second race, and then we have F1 starting, and then we're gonna talk about me and Logan try to um, get some tops Chrome from the Tops website from UK and US site. So we'll talk about our experience with that. We're going to run down quickly the F1 teams. We have some amazing stuff going on in the hobby for realizing some prices here for F1. And as well, we have our second week of our new segment here of King's Court, of all that kind of good, amazing stuff as well. So, and then whatever else we throw in there. I know I want to talk about ComC. If folks aren't familiar with ComC, we haven't talked about ComC in a few weeks, months, maybe. If you're looking for NASCAR F1 singles, uh, it's a great place to shop and flip and everything else. So, but
There's no way this is going to be an hour.
No, not even close.
so we're gonna pack it all in there, and so we got to go through these segments here and give everybody the value. Oh, and we got a recap of we had last week's we celebrated 3 years, so we had a giveaway for that, and then we're gonna have another giveaway, or we'll talk about the giveaway for next week. So, but whew,
Hope you all got 2 hours to waste on us.
don't say that. All right, so let's get through it here. So, next race, the truck race. They were off last week. They're going to Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's a repave there. It's the FR8 208, and that's Saturday, March 19th at 2:30 p.m. And the stages are 30, 60, and 135. Looking forward to the new track and everything that white, yellow, red line. So. Xfinity Series last week, that was the 18th annual United Rentals 200. That was Saturday, March 12th at Phoenix Raceway. No Graskin was our winner, and the highest finishing rookie was Sheldon Creed. Any comments, Logan, on that one? Jason? I was glad to see him win.
Yeah, I was glad to see him win. I think he led. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's like 115 laps.
114 laps. Very good.
114. Okay, I knew it was something like that. He pretty much dominated, so he deserved to win. He had the best car all day long. I hated to see Ty freaking Gibbs get spun out, but he recovered, so he did well. I mean, it was a good race. It was an entertaining race. It was Phoenix. Like you said, I'm looking forward to Atlanta. You know, they got the repave, the reconfiguration, and all the things they're doing in Atlanta. So with fresh pavement, that ought to be an interesting race coming up this weekend.
Yeah, and so even with the spin out tie, freaking Gibbs came in sixth.
Yeah, he had a good card. Josh Berry, who we love on this show, finished third. So he did very well.
Yeah. So quickly, top 10, Noah Graskin, Brandon Jones, Josh Berry, Trevor Bain, Good to see him up there. John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger, Daniel Hemrick, Landon Castle, Justin Allgaier, and that's top 10.
That's it.
Whoop, goes going to go to number 11 there. But quickly, Noah Greskin, we've talked about his cards last year. This is his first win for this year. But his first NasCard cards are in 2017 Donruss. There are only signatures in the Signature Series. There's the unnumbered regular version. There's a hollow gold version of 25 and the hollow black 101. But he has base cards in Panini Absolute. That was the 1 year for Panini Absolute. But it's card number 88. And then there's about, about 4 or 5 different parallels. There's a silver number to 299, blue to 199, red to 99, gold to 25, and the 4 printing plates black, cayenne, magenta, and yellow. Panini Select, that was its own release that year. And he's just in signatures in that version. There's about 5 versions of that. There's unnumbered base, autograph signature series. There's blue to 50, red to 25, gold to 10, and checkerboard or checkered flag prism to 101. And then Torque, another one year kind of release. And trackside signatures and the few versions of that. There's an unnumbered signature, blue to 75, red to 49, green to 25, and checkerboard to 10. So a lot of, I guess, when you get into the numbered parallels, they're kind of limited pretty good. So, and I think he's an up and comer, definitely. He was, I think, in the Final Four last year. Contender for the championship this year, even though I know it's early. But him being with Junior Motorsports, he's got good equipment. So I think long term, he's a good one to collect.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, especially since he's got good equipment, you can see that really showcases how your driving abilities when you've got good equipment. So he's got the best. Him between JR Motorsports and Gibbs, those are the 2 premier, I think, teams within Xfinity Series.
Yeah, and then our highest finishing rookie was Sheldon Creed. We talked about him last week, so I'm not going to go too in depth for him. But Panini Chronicles, he's in everything. So with base cards, with autographs, so it'd be footnote C Panini Chronicles 2021, and then plenty of Prism
up right now.
Okay. So next race, Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Nally Cars 250, and that is Saturday, March 19th at 5 p.m. So we kind of get a double header with 2:30 for the truck race and 5 o'clock for the Xfinity race. The stages are 40, 80, and 163 with practice on Friday and qualifying on Saturday. Moving over to the Cup race. That was race number 4. That was the 18th annual Runoff Mortgage 500. That was Sunday, March 13th at Phoenix Raceway. Our winner was a first-time winner, Chase Briscoe. And our highest finishing rookie was Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, it's always nice to see a first-time winner. I mean, we've had 4 races and we've got 2 first-time winners already. So what does that bode for the rest of the year? Are we going to have more? I think we're probably going to have, I bet we'll have 1 or 2 more.
So I remember last year, we had so many first-time winners. So, it's kind of continuing that trend, or which they, not first-time winners, but, we didn't have a lot of repeat winners other than Kyle Larson, I guess, and a few others. But for the most part,
I'm waiting for Ryan Blaney to finally finish where he keeps looking like he's going to win and then he keeps getting knocked down at the end. So I'm waiting for him to finally pull through on one.
Yeah, he had a few issues, so it was too bad. I hate to see that.
So we've talked about Chase Briscoe last year. He was, I believe, Rookie of the Year, but he was running in Rookie of the Year. And so here at NasCard Radio, we talk about the cards for our winner and our highest finishing rookie. So Chase Briscoe, we talked about his cards last year. So this is probably not a surprise for folks, but the 2018 Panini Certified He has a base card number 23, and there's a few parallels for that. There's the orange to 249, red to 199, blue to 99, gold to 49, purple to 25, green to 10, and black 101. There's a mirror gold to 25, mirror purple to 10, mirror green to 5, mirror black to 1, and then there's fresh faces signatures, and all these are numbered from 99 or less. There's a few different versions of it, and then also in the 2018 Panini Prism, he's in the prime. I'm sorry, 2018 Panini Prime. He's in the Prime Jumbo Associate Sponsors. There's a few different versions of that. There's the Jumbo Materials, a few versions of that, and then Race Use Quads. And then he's also in the 2018 Panini Prism, but he's only in the scripted signatures. So there's an unnumbered version of that, and then numbered versions from 125 and lower. And then he's also in 2018 Victory Lane signatures, and that's numbered from 3 versions, numbered to 299, black to 1, and gold to 99.
Gee, I wish he had more. He's got a lot of cards. He really does in 2018.
Yeah, the certified, there's a lot there, and then the prime, that was a nice release that they did, but there's a lot of stuff in there as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then Todd Gilliland, I was glad to see him get to Victory Lane. We've talked about him, I believe, a few times before, where he's won in the Truck Series. He's in 2017 Donruss in the Phenoms, and the Phenoms Cracked Ice, numbered to 999. 2017 Donruss, he has a base, the rated rookie card number 35, with a few different parallels with the gold, blue foil, green foil, press proof gold, press proof silver, and artist proof. 2017 Donruss Signature Series. There's a few versions of that. There's an unnumbered version, numbered to 25, the hollow gold, the hollow black, 101, 4 printing plates, the black, cayenne, magenta, and yellow, and Panini Absolute, card number 69, and with the few parallels, kind of like Noah Gragson, that's who it was, who we just talked about, with the different parallels with the blue, red, silver, gold, and the printing plates. And then 2017 Panini Select, signatures only in that as well, with the few versions of it. And then Panini Torque with the track size signatures, kind of like Noah Graskin. So they kind of run parallel in that offerings for Noah and Todd Gilliland. So I think you're on mute.
I am on mute because my puppy had her squeaky toy. Sorry. So yeah, Chase Briscoe, I was proud for him. He is the 200th cup winner of a cup race. So there's you got to think about it. In almost 75 years of cup racing, there's only been 200 guys to win races. That's not a lot of people. I mean, that's a pretty select group.
That would be a good card for, like, if a company manufactured cards instantly, on a weekly basis or something. That would be pretty good for something like that.
Yeah, I wish there was a company that did print stuff weekly and like instantly and stuff like that. That would really be nice.
That would be pretty cool. It'd be almost like instant. So yeah, it'd be nice.
And also, you did know that Kevin Harvick tied an all-time record? He had 18 consecutive top 10 finishes at Phoenix, and he tied that with Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. So that was a record that was tied. So that was a pretty monumental race as far as records were concerned.
So are you saying 18 races in a row or 18 races in a row at that track?
18 races in a row at that track.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was just clarifying.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 or 2 a year. So that's a pretty good run.
Well, you got to look at it in a couple of ways. I mean, back when Petty and Earnhardt were winning all these races, they were pretty dominant, and they had good equipment. I mean, back then you had a lot of engine failures, a lot of problems with the cars. So for them to be consistent for 18 races in a row at the same track, that's a pretty good feat. But today it's different. The cars are more reliable, so you're not going to have as many car issues. But what you are going to have is the competition is there's more parity in the competition, so that makes it a little tougher. So it's kind of reversed. But anyway, it's a great record, I think, and he's poised to beat it if he can score a top 10 finish in Phoenix in the fall.
Yeah, well, I was going to say there's a great little segment here for trivia. So Atlanta Motor Speedway opened in 1960. Who won the first race in 1960? So,
Think
and
about it.
speak, yep, think about it. And our next race number 5, is Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500, Sunday, March 20th at 3 p.m. Stages are 105, 210, and 325. And so now we got a few minutes a minute to think about that. So Atlanta Motor Speedway opened in 1960. Who won the first race in 1960? Fireball Roberts. Let's move over to IndyCar. They have a race scheduled for Sunday, March 20th at 12:30 p.m. and that's the XPEL 375 at Texas Motor Speedway. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be a fast race and a very dangerous race. The speeds they're going on that track. I mean, even the slightest little bobble and it could be a major catastrophe. So I hope everybody stays safe at that race.
I thought I saw a tweet or something else saying that, this is Jimmy Johnson's first time on an oval now with IndyCar.
Yeah, because he did all road courses last year. He's branching out, and we haven't heard whether or not. We've heard speculation on whether or not he's going to run the Indy 500, but we haven't heard had any confirmation on that yet. So, but with him going to this track, that bodes well for him being in the Indy 500.
Oh yeah, so we will see. Moving over to F1, the first race of the season. Race number 1, the Burhan Grand Prix at Burhan International Circuit, Sakar. It's March 20th at 11 a.m. on ESPN. 57 laps on the 5.412 kilometer international circuit. So everything is leading up to that. Might be a good segue in for last week's Topps F1 release. That was nuts. Continues still to be nuts. So
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. I mean, but then when I saw the prices, I'm almost glad I didn't I didn't get any in my cart to buy.
Yeah, well, like we talked about, trying to give it the old college try. You know, we knew it was going to drop on UK and Top site. So if anyone been or has tried on the Topps website, you definitely want to make sure you log into the Topps website before everything goes down. So so I know I did that around 9 a.m. on the Topps UK site. One of the things that happens is that you go into the queue, and then when that happens, it's getting ready. It's getting ready to happen. So I know for me, I was taking some notes here. So I went to the hobby section in the F1 and waited, refreshed every so often, and around 11 a.m. it went into the queue message. So it would just automatically refresh on its own, and around 11:30, I was able to view the product, and I noticed the light boxes, and so there was a limit of 2, so I added 2 to my cart. And then when I hit, um, I get add to cart, it went back into the queue message again. So I knew I was in trouble right there. So then after about 5 minutes, I came back, and now it was in my cart, but it said there was a problem that some of the items in my cart were sold out or couldn't add to my cart. So
Mm.
I'm sure everybody can guess which ones were out of stock.
Well, since you only had one thing in your cart,
Well, no, that's not true. I had something else in my cart as well because I had looked at because of Jason some Turbo Attack stuff. So
Mm.
so
uh,
that was still left in my cart.
So something I want to say, and I know Logan had made a couple comments too when we were texting. So later that day, there was a website that I was trying to get something on because after I had actually tried on the top site with you guys, just not for as long. And then later in the day, I was trying to get something on a different website. And the website that I was on, and this is what Logan had made comments about, was it showed you what place you were in line, and it showed how much inventory was left, I believe. But then also once it got to your spot, which for me it never did, I was still a ways away. But once it got to you, you had 10 minutes to decide or to complete your purchase. It wasn't one of those things where it's just like boom, boom, boom. Hopefully you can get it in 4 seconds and remember, the correct credit card and all that stuff. Like it said that you had 10 minutes, and we kind of joked like that's something that Tops is lacking, where you don't know if you're going to be there for 6 minutes or 6 hours with this stuff. And because even if it would tell you the place in line, not necessarily, how much is left, just to kind of give you something, because at least with Tops, I was a little bit more like, I don't care. I'm just going to let it go. Whereas with the site that showed me what place I was in line, I kind of liked watching the numbers shrink, like to see how fast the line was moving. There was no payoff for me, but it was just that thing of like, hey, I'm getting closer, and it would just be nice if some of these websites made some minor improvements to, for some better customer experience.
Well, part of me, while you're saying that, is thinking, well, they don't want you to know that they only got 20 boxes out there for sale and not 2,000 boxes for sale.
True. And that's where they could at least just say what place you are in line. They don't have to tell you what's left.
But I like, I think it was Logan that said, or kind of what you're saying, like Ticketmaster, you're in there, and when you add it to your cart, then you have time to do it, as opposed to, all these bots and stuff that are in there getting through these screens faster. So when me and Logan were talking and chatting during this whole thing, I felt like the Phantom Menace, the movie where Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi are fighting Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul are fighting it out, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's waiting to go through these gates, so he's stuck. And so I can see that the bots are Qui-Gon Jinn, and the Darth Maul is the Topps Chrome, and I'm stuck in the queue trying to get at them, and I can't because all the bots and everybody else is getting them. So like I said, I was in that queue for 30 something minutes or whatever. So
well, here's the whole issue that I have with these sites, with any of these sites that you can put it in your cart, then when it comes time to check out, you don't have it. When you have it in your cart, you should be able to keep it in your cart and not lose it and have that chance to check out. And for somebody to take that thing and grab that from you is wrong. I mean, I think it's totally wrong. If you have it in your cart, then you should be able to buy it. You shouldn't lose it.
Well, yeah, because imagine if that was in person and somebody just walked by and grabbed something out of your cart. I'm sure you wouldn't just be like, oh, okay, well, I'm out, I'm SOL, you'd be a little bit more like, hey, what the hell are you doing? So
Exactly.
yeah, if that was in person, it'd be totally opposite.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it'd be like it seems like when all these cards release, it's like Black Friday, and you're fighting all these people to keep something in your cart, and somebody comes along and steals it. And I'm sorry, but to me, that is just totally wrong. Once, let's say they only have 20, and you're lucky enough to get one of those in your cart, instantly. I mean, and there's technology. I mean, we know there's technology to reserve that, take that away from the count. If you don't check out within the next 5 or 10 minutes, whatever they say, then it goes back in and somebody else can buy it. But for somebody just to go, hey, grab your stuff and take it away from you is completely wrong, in my opinion.
well, again, with them using bots, and it's not just one bot. That each bot could have multiple requests to it. So anyway, but the one thing I did like and went through this because I knew I had like 10 seconds worth of trying to get one, but that the light boxes were $200 and the hobby boxes were $500. So that's some helpful information. So when you see it for $1,300, $1,500 for hobby boxes, you understand that, or light boxes for 400 or whatever that they're originally on the Topps website for that. So
Yeah, if I could have got light boxes for $200, I'd have probably bought one or two. But I'm certainly not going to pay the price that they are now. It's just I just don't see it.
also, and I don't know if you saw that, but the light only version is the Black Wave, and the Lewis Hamilton 1 of 1 Black Wave was hit. So that leaves the Max Verstappen and some of those other ones that haven't been hit yet. But just so folks know,
Yeah, that didn't take long.
well, there is a ton of it being opened. When I'm looking on some of the Facebook groups and stuff like that, everybody's enjoying it. They're hitting those autographs. They're quite rare. They're, one at every other box, whatever. So I guess we'll talk about some of that stuff in our um, Royal Court section here. But um, it's been a feeding frenzy for that, and and Logan, we kind of talked about it before, that this reminds me, this being the last 2 years in F1, what NASCAR experienced back in 88, 89, 90. So not to be Debbie Downer or nothing like that. It's just right now everything is hot and everybody is clamoring for it. So
Yeah, going back to those days in NASCAR, the late '80s, early '90s, they literally couldn't print enough. The demand was so high, prices were through the roof. You couldn't find things like, for example, '89 Winner's Circle cards. You could not find those. STP cards, you couldn't find those. Uno cards, you just couldn't find them. They just were not available. Myrtle Beach factory sets were going for like $1,000 back then. And yeah, I agree with you, Val. This kind of equates to the early days of when NASCAR came out, and it was a feeding frenzy for people were taking anything and everything, and they were buying everything that people were making, and it back by the mid to late '90s, it was over, and things got back to what I would say normal.
I guess time will tell on some of that. So um, here's everybody who was able to get what they could get from the Topps website. So um, and hopefully they got some pre-orders in
Yeah,
from some of that stuff. So
yeah, you're talking about your experience on both websites. I didn't even get. I got to the queue in UK and that was it. And then in the US, I got to the queue and it looked like I was getting ready to order one. Then I couldn't get one, and it was game over at that point.
yeah, so me and you were chatting because that was the UK site where I was talking about, and then me and you were like, "Well, do we know if it's going to drop on the US?" And we were kind of chatting, and you had gone in, and it's like, boom, there it was.
Yeah,
And it was kind of, but we could see the price, but we couldn't add it to the cart. So it was like we just missed out on it. So because like when I did the light boxes, I went into the hobby box and then was able to see it on the UK site and see the price, but not being able to, there's no add button or something like that, and then it went away. And like I said, then we went to the US site and saw that there, and it was like we just kind of stumbled into it. Um, and usually they'll announce on Twitter or something that those are live, and they did not do that this
Mm-mm.
time. So it was just total random. So, but like I said, we have F1 this weekend. Um, or the Sunday race at 11 a.m. on Eastern on ESPN. I don't know if you want to recap the drivers. I kind of broke down the drivers and the number of cards that each one of them has. I think there's some opportunity probably if somebody was F2 maybe in 2020 in the 2020 release. Um, you know that they do well this year and that they might see a bump. I'm sure Lewis Hamilton and some of those guys. Feeding frenzy still on for them. So, but with Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, he's got 890 cards, and George Russell, his teammate now, with 316 cards. The Red Bull, Max Verstappen, 682 cards. Sergio Perez with 303. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc with 480 cards. Carlos Sainz, 100 cards. So he's a kind of a low number there. McLaren, Lando Norris, 379, and Daniel Ricciardo with 291. Alpine with Fernando Alonso, 161 cards. Espen Ocon, 276. Alfa Ferrari with Pierre Gasly, 316. Yuki Tsunoda, he was F2 in 2020, and he has 212 cards. Excuse me. Aston Martin, Sebastian Vettel, 458. Lance Stroll, 232 cards. Alfa Romeo, Valtteri Bottas, 508 cards. Uh, Guano Zhu with 96 cards. It was F2 in 2020, and that's what I'm curious to see if people are wanting the 2020 card or they want to see the rookie in the F1 level. So, and finishing up Williams with Nicholas Lafay with 247, Alex Albon with 250 cards, Haas, which we've seen to change with Kevin Magnussen with 136, and Mick Schumacher with 212.
Well, one good thing, I'm glad to see I'm not the only person that can butcher F1 names.
Well, hopefully, after
I
another
can do it for
year,
the best of them.
we've only been following F1, I guess, for last 8 months or whatever. So I'm hoping our second year of F1 that we'll get better, right? So
Yeah, I vow to get better. I think I already said that.
right. So hopefully we butcher just enough so everybody knows who we're talking about, so that they can follow along, and hopefully some of this information is good and it helps them in their collecting. Um, so maybe gives them some ideas of maybe new drivers to chase or new drivers to collect or whatever. So,
All right. What about golden auctions? Do we want to talk about that?
well, we can. That's a good one to talk about. So let me share. I believe this is it. Yeah, this was the last golden auction. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, this was what, Sunday night, I think. Yeah, this is the 2006 Futura Grand Prix Lewis Hamilton card, and it's graded a PSA 9. Final price with buyer's premium, $312,000. Yes, you heard that correctly.
Yeah, no 10. Papa 1. Now, what I do know about these 2006 is it's not the 2005, because I think the 2005 was released during or with wax packs and stuff like that. So I haven't been able to find too much information about this 2006. I don't know how it was distributed, and it's kind of a high number. I think there's the last 4 or 5 cards are that next. So
Yeah, kind of like what Topps is doing right now, putting the rookies at the end. I think that's the same thing that they did with the Futura cards. But this is amazing to me. I mean, if this card is this 9 is $312,000, my gosh, what does that make a PSA 10? I mean, that makes you have to almost double that. Is that a $700,000 card? My gosh, I never saw this coming.
me
Do you
either.
know-
Now, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you know what the full pop report is? Like how many have been graded and how they kind of are distributed through the grades?
I have not looked at the pop report, but as we talk, I will look.
You do that. I have an insight for this. So our international listeners, I believe this is this is from the UK, not UK, sorry. This is from somewhere in Europe, I think, right? Or UK. But if I was in one of those areas, I would be checking all the garage sales, all the thrift stores, anybody that I know that collects F1. There's got to be hundreds of these out there somewhere. This is not a 101 we're talking about here. We're talking about, this is the one that got through and got the PSA and got graded. And I think it's rare. Like I said, we weren't sure it's not available in packs or whatever, but there's got to be plenty of them. Not plenty. Got to be hundreds of them out there.
Yeah, there's got to be. I understand this set was short printed, but I mean, I have no idea how many of these cards are out there. I'm looking on PSA right now, and I'm not. It's just not coming up for me real quick at all.
And so this is again this Futura set. So they made it to sell. They didn't make it just to make one or 100 or something. There had to been a pretty decent print run, I would think, because they were in it to make money on the release. So it's just we're not going to find them here in the U.S. I don't think, or they're going to be very hard to find in the U.S. Because the company wasn't here, so they'd have to work their way over and then into people's collections. So I could totally be wrong, but I think this is a massive gold rush now for to be looking for this card. That we kind of, I don't know if we talked about before, like back in the 80s and not well, I guess the 90s, right? So everybody was like had these finds um of unopened wax and all this other stuff, and I think it takes like one of these now to do this kind of pull these finds being trying to uncover these because I definitely think they're out there. They just just got to find them.
So Logan, you're probably seeing the same thing I am. You can see the 2005 on the pop report, but not 2006.
Yeah, I'm not finding it.
So I would imagine we can probably take the numbers to be somewhat similar to a degree, but even so, there were only 22. There were 2 cards graded from the 2005 set for a grand total of 22 cards graded. So this 2006 at the most 100 were graded, which if it's not listed, I would doubt hardly any have been graded. It's probably less than 22, but this is something that's going to be hard to find. I mean, there might not ever be another 9 if they're that limited.
Yeah, I mean, I've always heard these things were limited, but I never thought they were $312,000 limited. But that's amazing price. I mean, congrats to the seller and congrats to the buyer, I guess. You've got a great card. It's going to be, I guess, the highest selling F1 card out there. So that's incredible.
Yeah, I'd love to know how PSA authenticated this one. I'm not saying it's not authenticated, right? So because of the mystery around the 2006, and we know a lot more about the 2005, because if you go to their website, Futura's website, they have some of that information out there. So I know when I tried to get a few things authenticated, I had to jump through some hoops and show some proof. So I'm curious to see what uh, the seller did for this to get this authenticated. Like I said, I'm not doubting it's not authentic. It is, but again, this is kind of not super mainstream like the 2005. So this 2006 is a little more rare, but uh, the product was made and it's out there.
Yeah, and it's a cool card. I kind of like his hairdo. He's got the Star Trek sideburns going on and all that. So
Yeah. So this is 2006 Futura Grand Prix, card number 95, and if we look over at the back, you can see the copyright is 2006. So
yeah, now if we can just get a NASCAR card to sell for something like that, that would be awesome.
yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit for that one. So.
I think so.
But yeah, congrats to the seller and the buyer. It's pretty, like I said, impressive. So I think the gold rush now is on to find all the Futura cards. Because if I had,
There's probably somebody sitting on a pile of these things and they've just hit the lottery.
well, just think of like the Black Water find, right? So they found all those with the Cracker Jacks or whatever it was. It was
The Black Swamp, yes.
the Black Swamp, and then they were getting like PSA 9 and PSA 10s of stuff that before that there were only like fives or whatever. So I'm excited to see um, you know the future for these if more can be found. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, and there was something else in that same auction that is NASCAR related, isn't there?
Yeah, I couldn't find it. Like you, I couldn't find it. If you want to talk about it real quick.
Yeah, I'll talk about it real quick. In that same auction, there was a 1988 Max Charlotte promo number 99, which we all know about that card if you've listened to NasCard Radio. It was a PSA 10, and it sold for $1,711 with buyer's premium. So that's a pretty hefty price for that card. I think I've seen eBay comps in the $1,200 to $1,300 range. So somebody paid up for this. Now the actual winning bid was $1,426. So with the buyer's premium, the 20% went up to $1,711. But hey, I'll take that. That's pretty strong. I love that card. I think it's a cool card. I actually bid on it before it got over $1,000. But once it got to that price, I was a non-player at that point.
I have to catch some of that stuff early too because I'm a non-player quickly. So
I played long enough. I mean, my maximum bid was like 1,000 and I think 1,007.77 or some kind of crazy number. I think that's why it got to 26 or something. But anyway, 26 cents. But yeah, I was a player for a little bit, and then it went to extended bidding, and then when it went to extended bidding, that's when it started going right on up. So I was out.
gotcha. But we talk about that Earnhardt. That's an iconic glamour card. So
Yeah, definitely a NASCAR glamour card.
I would keeping on the F1 theme here. Let me share another tab. Make sure it's coming through. So, with the start of the F1 season, we're going to recap the available tops now. F1. Panini does the Panini Instant. We'll talk about those as well. But this week's offering, again, we're recording on Wednesday. So These numbers look a little bit different with how many days are left, but at least you get an idea of what's available. And so they started this week with 3 different offerings. So we got card 1. Actually, last year's Max Verstappen World Championship had a print run of almost 30,000. So I'm curious to see what this year is going to do. So we have card number 1 here. 2 and 3 with just the cars with no individual drivers. But then yesterday was released with George Russell as an individual, and then there's going to be parallels, I believe, as well.
Yep, 3 parallels.
So gold 1, black to 10, and teal to 99 for lucky orders. And then you also have these 2 other cars. And then today,
You need to say his name.
Oh, I did. I tried
Yeah.
before, but I'll go again. I'm glutton for punishment. So I think is it backwards from the other one, but
Zal, I think.
Zhao, my pal Zhao,
There you go.
and Guino. But he has the rookie flag on his, so Alfa Romeo. So I think that's actually a good looking card. I think with that red, white, and the black, it's a nice looking
I
card.
actually
So
like that logo too.
which one, the rookie one or
Yeah,
the?
I
Yeah.
like that.
You may have to
Yeah,
buy
so
some of these.
this is their rookie logo. They've had this on the Formula F1s, I think before. So again, there's going to be the different parallels. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm thinking maybe I'll pick some of these up. I'm not sure. And I mentioned it in, I think it was one of the Facebook group pages. So if you buy stuff from the Topps website, you get reward points, and the reward points are good towards Topps Now. So you can pick up cards at a discount using your rewards points. So
Yeah, don't the Topps rewards points expire though?
they do not.
Well, that's weird because I know I got an email from them last year saying, "Hey, your Topps rewards are getting ready to expire. You better use them."
Oh, I I checked today. Mine were still out there, but I've been buying stuff through the Montgomery Club, so I don't I don't know. And then last year, I picked up some of the Max Verstappen championship cards, so with some points to kind of lessen some of that.
It's interesting that they're doing 3 cards per day, and I asked the question to Ivan in the group, and his assumption was it's going to be 3 per day for the first week or so, and then the 1 per week going forward.
I think they usually release like 3 a week. Now I can go back and look in the archive, but I want to say they did more than 1 a week.
Okay, well maybe I misspoke, but his point at least was daily releases now and then weekly releases once we get into the swing of the season.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that kind of rationale. They're honestly hyping up the season, but this is the start of season, so all the new cars, all the new looks, and all that. So I'll be curious to see who the individual drivers are going to be now with George Russell and my pal
Zhao.
Zhao. Yeah, so so we'll see who's going to be the next few days. So again, recording on Wednesday, so there'll be some more. I would imagine till the first race. So
I guess I'm going to Topps website later on after the show. I probably need to buy some of these.
Do you think it's going to be the same? Not rush, that's the wrong term, but like the same FOMO on these cards?
The hype?
I don't know, because it seemed like, even with Topps Now, when they did baseball and the living sets, like those first handful, people are always like, crap, I missed. Now I have to go back, and they have shorter print runs. do you think the F1 hype from last year that's carried over obviously into Chrome, which we talked about earlier on the show, do you think nobody's going to miss out to where there's a less of a flip opportunity? Or do you think there's that tops now, not stigma, but people are like, oh, I'll just get it eventually, and then they miss out because obviously there's a timed window.
Well, I'm not sure. I think everybody might be preoccupied with the Chrome, and that kind of leads me to my next segment I was wanting to talk about. Was place to buy and sell is COMC for F1. So I think Jason, I saw some folks pushing back on the tops now and that they had done like a group buying, and that they're not doing it this year. For whatever reason, that people were complaining about it, people hate it, people love it, that kind of thing.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the parallels, though.
Well, I think that's what keeps people going is the parallels. And so I'm going to show you. So the COMC is, if you're not familiar with the website where you can buy cards, you can put them into your account, you can resell them, you can have them shipped home. You can also submit cards to be put into your account, and then you can sell them. But where I was going is the 2020 tops now. You can see them for sale, and you can see some of the print runs on them. And Logan, here's your famous number 3, not yours in particular, but the card that you were, working on getting. And you can see the print runs and the prices for them. But then when you get to like 2021, it's a different story. They're out there for like $1 or $2. So let's see. I wasn't prepared to talk about this, but let me quickly go to the 2021. It's really, once you get the hang of it, to navigate to. So 2021 and the tops now, there's 56 cards, and this is by card number. You can see, I think they're like $9 on the website. Or you can get them down, I think, to $6 in quantity. But you can see there's cards here for $2, and you can see some of these print runs. So as you go through the season, because this is number order, we go down to the bottom. The Max Verstappen championship, that's almost 30,000, $2.20, and you can click on that, and you can see the price ranges from 220. There's a bunch of them. Let's go to page 4 to see what 284.
Wow.
Well, so, they can't get that price. You can't even buy them for that cheap, no matter how many you buy.
And so what I should say is they're actually cheaper, I think, because I have not logged in. And then you can buy them, put them in your account, and then I believe they ship worldwide. So our friends over in Europe and other countries, that this might be a place for you to buy and sell as well. So basically, in a nutshell, you put credit on your account, and then you can buy cards, and then you can also relist them quickly if you want for sale. But as I say, some of them are, again, here are some of these parallels, right, that folks are trying to get. So here's 2 parallels, this one and this one. So they're over 100, but you can see some of them are, like all very low. Some of them might be a little bit over. So you got this Daniel Ricciardo at just in the 2,600 here for $10. And again, there's only 3 for sale, so it goes from 10. So they're all kind of in the same range.
So the flippers and the people who were speculating, it looks like, it's the prices are the return on investment is not as great as probably some people thought it would be.
Not for 21, right? So 2020
Yeah.
is kind of. So I'm not sure about 2022. We will see. Like I say, time will tell. But um, let's see if I go back. So there's album stickers, and so chrome. There's light, the Formula One light racing, and turbo attacks, and chrome.
Sound like you're saying TurboTax.
Turbo attack. But let me go back to the 2000. So this is back to the 2000. So the first year. And again, you can see over here how it's broken up. So if you wanted to look like at Sapphire, here's all the Sapphire. Here's a Lewis Hamilton, #1 for $1,100. There's the
Yeah, and that's a raw
parallels.
price.
What's that?
And that's a raw price. That's ungraded.
Correct. Here's a Max for 909. But I guess where I'm going with this is that also, there's only a few of these for sale. But if you're actually trying to make a set, I mean, here's 5. There's 5 of these. Some of these are kind of loaded up. Here's 12, 11, where I'm going to, there's 11 of them for sale. So they go anywhere from $284 up to $14. So if you're working on sets, I guess is what I'm saying is this might be a good place to pick some up, and then you just pay your shipping the one time where you can accumulate them. So if you're working on a chrome set, and then again each one of them breaks out. So if you're doing the 7th anniversary, or we'll see, we got some autographs in here. So here are some of the chrome autographs and their numbers. So they don't look too bad. But they're not any of the super big stars. So if you're working on just a base set, so here's just base chrome from 2020. You got a Lewis Hamilton there at 340, but then the Valerie Bottas is 514. And like I said, you go down here and Max for stopping. There's 10 of them starting at 130, and then it goes from 130 to 581. So
Well, the good thing about this too on ComC is you can click into these things and zoom in, and the zoom
yes,
is pretty good. You can see enough detail to where you can see corners or chipping or any other defects that might be in the card. So when you see those lower prices, there may be something wrong with that card. So it's always good to zoom in, check the front and the back, and see if it's something that it's worth buying.
yeah, correct. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. So and then depending on the level that you submit it, if it's express or there's an elevated one, is basically it's like 25 cents for shipping or $1 for shipping, and it's like this one here is probably $1 for shipping, but you can see it's got a better scan to it.
Yeah, and if you go back to that, Val, if you look on the bottom, yes, right there on the bottom right side, so you can see that it's got a little bit of white on there. So, that card is not going to, if you're looking to grade, that card is not going to gem at all.
Yeah, these other corners look pretty good, but yeah, to your point, you can kind of use this as a judge. So let's go check this one out here. So this
That
corner
looks,
looks a lot better. I don't know what that is right
yeah, it's
there,
got
but
something at the top.
so it could be just a flake of dust or something. But the corners actually look really good on this one.
Yeah, that one looks a lot better.
So, and that's 148 as opposed to 142. Here's another one. Again, it has that up here. So I'd be
That may be
curious.
in the scan.
All right, here's another one for 188. This one. Yeah, this one looks well. I guess that corner might be, but I don't know if it's not totally flat, and so this little line is part of that edge of
Yeah.
it being not flat. So, anyway, um, we've talked about the website. I think it was last year, and we haven't really talked about it this year. So our friends um, overseas and stuff that might be an option, and our new folks listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube channel, they're not familiar with ComC. So it's got a a good. I think it's a good place, like I said, to pick up stuff where there's multiple that you can kind of pick and choose, maybe, um, and see the card. So, and again, if you're a NASCAR collector, there's lots of NASCAR trading cards on ComC as well as comic books and I don't know if I go here. So these are things like baseball, football, you name it, Sports Illustrated, comic books, gaming cards, stuff like that. So
Do I see
Tim,
shrimp on there? I think it says shrimp. Oh no.
uh, Tim did a great job with building it with his team. So, uh, Jason, anything I missed with ComC or that you would want to add? I know you've used ComC quite a bit too.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely there's a learning curve for sure, but I think you guys pretty much nailed it on the zooming, the flipping of the car, the storage, and you don't have to ship everything every time. You can save it. Um, the big thing for me is if there's one card like that Verstappen and there's 1,000 people that send it in, they actually scan every card. They scan all 1,000, so to me, that's huge. And they do it for everything, whether or not it's a penny card or $1,000 card. They scan every single card that comes in. So you know exactly what you're getting. It's not like eBay where you might get a stock photo or whatever. And, it shows up and it's not the best condition or it's off center. So you actually can see every single card that's on there in their inventory. And it's a lot of work. There's some stuff that you might overpay a little bit for, but at the same time, I think there's enough perks to make up for it.
So one more thing, since if you've listened to the podcast this long and watched the YouTube, so one of the things that I love to do is to change this setting from card number to recently added. And so if you go to whatever category, so racing and recently added, this is basically everything coming into ComC. So you're seeing it first. Well, me and you are getting ready to see it first because I usually watch this as well. But you can see uh, the cards coming in, and again, it's just whatever it is in the racing category. But you might be able to find some deals that you're like, oh, I need something, or at this price, I might want to get it, whatever. So you see some good deals, like here's some sapphires that are just coming in. So if you're working on a sapphire set, it might be worth it. So again, it quickly just the recently added is a nice feature. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
I saw skid marks.
what's that?
So I saw some skid mark cards.
Let's see.
There's a Tony Stewart skid mark on there.
So you
We're gonna
can
search
just
for skid marks. Oh gosh.
so here's the skid marks, and here it is by order or recently added. So you can see
Yeah,
it's 18
hashtag
cards.
skid marks.
Yeah, Casey Kane, they're numbered to 250. These other ones are not. So anyway,
to second what you said, Val, there's a lot of people that use that method. I'm not one of them because the unorganization of it drives me nuts. Where there's different prices, different cards, drives me batshit crazy. But I have actually lost. I actually lost a $50 card for 50 cents because somebody snatched it up so fast that I didn't even have time to go reprice it. So there are people on there like vultures watching that recently added.
sorry.
I've been a victim myself.
So that's a good thing. That might be something. I know we're over here an hour already, but
Mhm.
one of the options is when you send cards in that you get notified, or they price them for you at the going rate. So you have to trust that they are going to get that right. And so sometimes they get it wrong. So
All right.
um so I know we're hitting the hour mark. I think one thing real quick I just want to touch on. Let me close that. Share screen. I saw this pop up on Twitter feed today. Actually, one of the friends of the show kind of said, "Hey, saw this and you thought you might be interested." So the Stafford Speedway is coming out with their own card set. As you can see, it's 12 packs a box, I think it says, and then 13 cards per pack. And so more information is coming. They haven't really released it yet. They're kind of teasing it out. But if you wanted to see what one of the cards looks like, I think the design looks pretty cool.
Very Contenders-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Logan did a little digging on the track. It's a smaller track. So we're inquiring about a checklist and when it's going to be for sale. So we're hoping to bring that information to you next week's show.
Okay, before we go to auctions, I need to pick a
Yes.
winner.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not going to share the screen, but I am going to do a little random here. For all the entries for the Lewis Hamilton 2021 Topps Aqua out of 199, we'll do a couple times. So I randomized the list 5 times, and the winner is CJH 200-912, and obviously that is a Twitter name. So I will.
That's Colin.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Colin Hofstetter. That's
So,
cool. Congrats, Colin. You did good.
All right. So I'll get in contact with him and I'll get the card over to him. And I did bring it with me while I'm out of town so I can ship it out right away. Look at me being responsible.
Awesome.
Don't like.
Wow.
So, right. So.
If you don't, I was going to say, also wanted to thank all the YouTube subscribers. Just give a shout out to Tigers727, 2B SOCK5, and West Texas Wax. Thanks for subscribing to the NasCard Radio on YouTube. If you'll subscribe to the YouTube channel, we'll give you a shout out as well in the show. So thanks for the new subscribers.
Yeah, congrats. That's cool. It's very groovy.
Yep. And so we'll have another giveaway this coming week.
Yep. So stay tuned.
Yep. And I guess we'll go over to the King's Court.
Do we have any music?
We do, and I just realized I had applause ready for the winner of the contest, and I totally forgot. So there went my being responsible.
Well, we got a live show, so
yeah. So
I'll do some applause.
But yeah, we are ready for some King's Court.
All right, this week. Got the last little boop in there.
Boop.
Low budget show, but high in content.
Well, we're going to get Doc Severinsen in here and do it next week.
All right, so we're over an hour, so let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, this is this week's King's Court eBay auctions. We're going to start out with the Joker of the week, which is our odd or funny or whatever. On the 13th of March, the 1960s Marhofer Meets Auto Racing Greats trading cards, Foyt, Russo, and Chesborough, I think that's how you pronounce it, went for $355 with 30 bids. that's pretty hefty, and those cards are kind of tough. And you can ask Ken; he'll tell you. These cards came in packs of Marhofer hot dogs back in the day. I don't know if they have a rear view of those things, but
There
you
you
can
go.
see on some of those, you can see the hot dog stains on the back of the cards.
There you
Yeah,
go.
see?
Yeah.
You see where the hot dogs were. So these things are always going to be terrible condition, but they're also terribly tough. So, if you can get some of them like AJ and things like that, I mean, even if you get a PSA 1, I mean, that's still a good card.
So I don't know if you see the AJ. AJ had a lot of love. It looks like it was pinned or thumbtacked to bulletin board or something. So that right hand corner has multiple pinholes in it. So if I go to the back to it, you can see it. So nothing
Oh,
wrong with that because that's before supplies. That's what folks did. So,
yeah.
very
So
cool.
that card got a lot of love. That'll be a PSA 1.
Okay, next.
Sorry. So next, the Jack card, which is our young driver, is going. This auction was on the 14th of March. 2021 Topps Chrome Formula One red refractor of Liam Lawson, future star. It's a 1 of 5, and it went for $1,481 with 22 bids. So it's number 1 of 5.
Yep.
So that's a pretty neat card.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big price for that card, but they are tough. It's out of 5.
Yep.
All right. Next up is our Queen female driver, and this is on March 15th. 2014 SP Authentic Danica Patrick, and I like how if you look at the eBay auction, they spelled Danica with a K, but this one is the Tiger Woods tribute autograph, 10 of 10, which was her car number, PSA 8. So somebody did, I think, pretty good on this, because this was actually, I think, one of the higher priced cards of the week. It had a buy it now of $300 or best offer, and the best offer of $210 was accepted for that. So,
where would you say that price is? Do you think it's on par? And I didn't mean that because it's Tiger Woods, but do you think that's on par with what it would normally be, or higher or lower? I'm wondering because I always think it's interesting when people have misspelled listing titles, and then seeing where the prices, how they correlate.
well, if you look at previous Danica Patrick auctions of her autograph and her numbered cards, this is, I think, a little low. I think it could have probably gone for a bigger price, especially since, I mean, I don't know if people realize, but that was her car number, 10 of 10. I mean, that in itself is amazing.
Well, she was in the booth for a few weeks. The name is spelled wrong, and I think that's kind of low because I mean it is graded, right?
Yep.
It is her card number, but nothing against her, but she has no wins or anything like that. So, but I still think maybe it's a little low. Maybe that's a $300 card. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen a lot of her cards like on ComC coming to market. So either people were Danica collectors and then, or they were speculators and now they're basically thinning out their collections and stuff. So
Yeah, but that's a nice card. It's on
oh
card auto.
yeah, it's nice. It's yeah. I mean, it's limited 10. It's an on card, nice signature, and it's an 8, and it's SP authentic. So
Yeah, I think it's undervalued, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, our king of the week, the male driver. This is on the 9th of March. Lewis Hamilton, Topps Chrome, track tags gold out of 50. It's an SGC 10, and it was sold out of Canada for 10,000 Canadian dollars.
Wow.
With that was the best offer that was accepted. They had 14,000 Canadian dollars on it, which that equates to $7,839 US for that card. So that's a heck of a price that somebody got for that card. And
Yeah.
it's a nice looking card. I like that card.
So it's out of 50, right?
Mm-hmm. And it got a 10.
Yeah,
it's
it's
10.
probably low because
There
SGC has another 10 grade. They have a gold pristine 10, like Beckett has the black label 10. The technically there's one grade above it. You know what I mean? So it always, because we've talked about this before, just because of all your PSA success, it always befuddles me why you would send something like this to SGC and not try to maximize with PSA on something like this.
Totally agree with you. The only thing I guess is turnaround time.
Yeah, true.
Although PSA's economy service and those services and above are moving pretty quick, because I sent in a couple of things to PSA in economy, and it was just a couple of weeks ago, and they're already into grading.
Yeah.
I got the notification actually today.
What do you mean? Your stuff jumped mine?
Well, no, this is economy. This is not. I'm paying $50 a card, dude.
I've been waiting a year. Anyway, but to maybe you guys kind of touched on that. This is a 2020, so PSA was shut down for months, and it could have been in that
Right.
time frame that they wanted
Could have
it
been.
graded. SGC was better than nothing, right? So I would imagine, well, definitely SGC was a close second at that time because PSA was shut down. So, but it might be worth a resubmit or submit to PSA. So I like that gold. I think that with that wall, so those like
Yeah, that
gold
pump.
bricks. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen one of those. That's nice. I do like those track tags in 2020. And again, first year, but that gold version, that's nice. So
If you paid $10,000 for a card, would either of you actually risk cracking it and resubmitting it?
Probably not.
I know I wouldn't, but I know somebody who would.
That's a big risk to me.
Dustin, I think would do it, but
Yeah, Dustin Daniels, he might.
he he does some basketball breakouts and resubmission, so that's
Yeah,
good
he's
luck.
got some
Anyway,
pretty big kahunas.
yeah. So shout out to Dustin.
Yeah,
So
we love you, Justin.
yeah. All right, next one.
All right, our ace of the week, which is the 1 of 1, was on the 15th of March. This is a 2021 Panini Chronicles Prime Chase Elliott Jumbo Patch 1 of 1 with that Goodyear, which I think that thing really looks cool. It's
That's
a
nice.
swell card. And it went for $460 with 3 bids. So there wasn't a whole lot of bids on it, but for getting that out of a Chronicles Prime patch, Prime pack, that's pretty good. I like that card. Of course, I'm a Chase Elliott fan, so I'm going to be a little bit partial to that.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see. There's some more pictures.
And you notice that patch is silk screened. They don't do a lot of embroidering now like they used to.
You're right. Yeah, you can see it right there. You can see the threads and the screening printing on this thread. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Nice,
pretty cool. I like that.
Nice photo. So
Yeah, it looks
There's
like
a nice photo of that corner there.
Yeah, that corner.
yeah, but you're buying it for you're not buying it.
True.
True. I mean, look, you can see the seam. They did a nice job with the picture. So there's that.
Somebody needs to clean off their scanner before they scan, because there's a lot of dust and dirt on it.
Yeah, but everybody gets to see this at home. So, all right.
Last but not least, our Royal Flush of the week, which is our highest priced card, was on the 14th of March. And to nobody's surprise, it's a Lewis Hamilton Topps 2021 Chrome Formula One Auto, number 1 of 74. It sold for $20,988 with 31 bids.
And it's
There's
raw.
it's raw, and it's 74 from out there.
Yeah, and look at his autograph. What is that? Come on,
That's
Lewis.
Lewis Hamilton.
Better.
See, there's the L, and there's the H.
If you say so.
But
I'm
yeah,
taking your word for it.
I don't know. But anyway, that is incredible. That
It is.
31 bids and basically $21,000. It's coming out of Hong Kong. What's amazing to me is that the folks in Hong Kong are busting wax.
Same thought exactly.
Well, I mean, they do it with basketball and everything else, so why
Yep.
not do Formula One?
Yeah, very very interesting. So that is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was a big card this week. It was far and above all the other cards. I mean, it was at $21,000, and not only that, that's a sticker auto too. Think about that.
Yep.
But it's a nice card. I like it. I don't like that light shining right on the middle of it, but the rainbow effect that they got off the chrome looks really cool. I like that as well. So yeah, that was a big card. That was the biggest one. So that's all I have for the King's Court eBay auctions for this week.
All right. Did we get everything in for the show that we wanted?
I think so. It's about our normal time, man. But we did jam pack it a lot. We really did.
Yeah, hopefully everybody got something out of today's episode. Hopefully more than a few things. So I enjoyed it. Thanks everybody for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel. Keep an eye out on the our social feeds for the next prize giveaway. Anything else, gentlemen, I'm missing, or anything closing?
Shout out to our sponsor, Panini.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We love you, Panini.
Yeah, that reminds me, when we drop, there'll be 28 days till Donruss, but who's counting?
Yeah, I got one more thing.
Yes, sir.
This is for you, Brad. Hashtag skid marks.
Yeah, so. All right, I guess that's it. Again, thanks for listening. I feel like there's more. We had done all this in the last hour, and so. But anyway, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for listening, and you'll catch us next week. And cue the music.